Solo.
And hello, welcome to Solo Playthroughs. It's 10 minutes early, and that's fine. It's Sunday. I'm gonna try to do a second video tonight, which I'll get to in a little bit, or in a lot of bit. I don't know. We know how these things go. I just say what comes to my mind, and sometimes it's nonsense. Often it's nonsense. We had an interesting conversation between me and Sajid about whether or not he's my only viewer. And Mike James says, pretty sure that he is not, but it is possible that he is. What's up, Mike? Sajid says, hey, look, a live blue screen and noise. And Alfred says, here we go. Another entrant in the Can Greg Get This Off Alfred's Shelf Challenge. Alfred, I'm often somewhat confident in my ability to do that for you. I don't know if that's going to work today. Let's get into it. I like a lot about this game. Unfortunately, I think it was about one or two iterations away from being great. It kind of stuck in, nah, it's fine. Scythe, it's not meant to be Scythe, so maybe that's not a fair start. Scythe is obviously in the top 20 of Board Game Geek for years now, so that's an unfair comparison. I have some really serious problems with some design choices. It feels not lazy, it just feels incomplete, and I feel like it leads to some weird balancing things, and you really need to play a couple times, understand what this game is asking you to do, I think, before you can really go in and decide, is this the game for you? I just think there were some really poor design decisions, and that's fine. It's my opinion. I do think it's noteworthy that this game had a bunch of hype when it hit, and has kind of tailed off pretty noticeably. And I do think it's because that my views are not alone on that score. But it does do some cool things. I actually think it is better as a solo game than as a competitive game. It is not the kind of solo game I personally prefer. I like it enough, but it will not be staying in my collection. I do want to thank Stonemaier Games for a review copy of Expeditions. But so it's probably a better solo game, and for reasons that I'll get into. There are less balancing concerns and issues, but the Automa, as usual, is great. Automa Factory really crushed it again. It's very simple, streamlined, and does put the real player in a place where they do feel like they're up against an annoying actual opponent, and they take their liberties. Hey, so the rules are pretty much the same. Here's how they're different, and how they're different does really improve the solo experience. So I like that a lot. Sajid says better as solo, so this is a Mage Knight replacement. Yes, this is absolutely a Mage Knight replacement. 100%. That is the quote. Correct, from Solo Playthroughs. Mage Knight replacement. Balancing concerns in a Stonemaier game. No way. Yeah, I almost made that joke, and I decided against it. And thank you to Sajid for saving the day. Yeah, I will say the balancing concerns that I have with this game aren't necessarily the factions as much as they are player count. And I would never want to play this game at 5. I can't see how that'd be fun. I played it at 4 once. So BGG strongly recommends playing it at 3. I've played it at 2 a couple of times with my wife. She did win both times, and that's because she understood what you had to do to win, and I was busy exploring other things. And this is not a game that has multiple paths to victory, at least not from what I've seen. So. And my wife is a very good gamer, so that is not a slight against her. It's just disappointing that, if you're going to win this game, there's one thing you have to do, and then other things you can maybe do. And I think some of the scoring mechanics are a little wonky. and the game presents itself as, oh, there's all these options of how to win, and it is not that. So we'll get to that. So we played this at 2, and the better half really likes it. It's fun. Yeah, I'm with that with Mike again. Like Sarah really did like this. I think after she played it 3 times though, she's like, oh, there's not a lot there for replayability as far as I'm seeing. You also have a huge deck of unique cards. I reiterate my issues with huge decks of unique cards, and sometimes the cards you need really just don't come out, and there's a lot of luck. Now, there are ways to mitigate that, to kind of dig through that deck, or at least have more of the cards of that deck come out. But it's overall, it's yeah. There, again, Stonemaier games. I love Scythe. Scythe will always have a special place for me. Apiary is very good. I have some they made some choices in that one that still make me scratch my head, but it is still an imminently playable game. Wingspan is fine, not for me. I get why people get it though. I will not be buying Wormspan. But then there's this, and this is the first Stonemaier game that I'm like, yeah, this is not staying. There's just no reason for it. It doesn't scratch. It doesn't fit a role in my collection for any reason that I could see. There are, again, a couple of friends that like it. Like their first play, will probably want to play again. I might play again with my wife, but after that, there's just, I think I've seen all that there is for this game to offer, unless they come out with a rules 2.0 that fixes some of my concerns, and I just don't see that happening anytime soon. So Sagittarius, good job, Sarah. Yay! And Sagittarius says, "Do I smell Arc Nova?" Arc Nova. I liked Arc Nova, and then the more I played it, I'm like, oh, I really don't like Arc Nova. Yeah, and the huge deck of unique cards for sure. Did play Arc Nova with the expansion. I was looking forward to playing with the expansion because I heard it fixed some things, and then in the end, it just exasperated some of the things I do not like about that game. And I was very glad when that game finally ended and put me out of my misery. All right. I digress. Let's get this started. We need to pick a mech. The mechs are super cool. If you are a mini painter and you want to paint a mech, you could buy this game just for the mechs. They're super, super good. So I'm going to roll a die. There are 5 mechs. I'll have 1 at the top, 5 at the bottom, and I rolled a 1. We're going to be the Highlander. Hello, Highlander. The Highlander looks like you. Hello. Welcome to my team. I'm going to put a little yellow base on him, and that's going to make everybody happy. Now, we're going to take 2 of these other mechs, and they're going to represent the Automa. The Automa gets 2 mechs. The bully, 2 versus 1 action here. So we're going to put this guy here. This is Tantanka. Is going to be up on our north hexes. The north hexes are all blue. And then we'll take this Viking ship looking like thing, and we'll put the black base on this one. And this is going to be on the central hexes. And this one is called, what is your name? It is Odin's Wrath. Booyah. It's going to go right there. Now we are going to randomly get a character and that character's companion. There are 6 of these. They are numbered 1 through 6, so I will roll a d6. I got number 1 again. We got a Kiko and Gyro. Now there are very strong similarities. There are the art, again, this is the Scythe universe. I really like the art. I do think it's a little strange that there is not a wedding of character, companion, and mech, because now you have, I think you could have said, hey, no, Akiko's mech isn't going to look like that, or if it looked like the Viking one, that would be a little silly. I mean, this does seem to be like the Tagawa faction. I don't know. I think you could have made these abilities on separate tiles and drafted those, or you could have done a bunch of things. I don't know, but it is what it is. So she has this mech, and we're going to have 2 areas for our cards. You never hold cards in your hand, although there are cards in hand. That is one of the things that happen in this game. It tries to use words differently than you would in normal English, or in other games at least, and that's a little weird. So my in-hand cards are going to be on the table up here. That is a lot of glare. Hello. There we go. Cut that down a little bit, please. Please. Okay, that should be better. So these cards are going to be in hand. Cards down here are going to be in my active row. You only control cards in your hand and cards in your active row. Other cards are going to get tucked underneath your mech. There are 3 places to tuck cards. One, we have quests, which when we complete will go up here, and it will gain us popularity. That's a huge scoring mechanic. If you do not do quests, you will not win this game, unless barring some very unusual set of circumstances, or if you're playing against other people who have no idea what they're doing. Anyway, I'll come back to that. I have another rant on that later. You have upgrades to your mech, which are super cool, so it makes your mech more efficient or more effective. They're going to go here. And then you have meteorites, which go down here. And those are essentially scoring opportunities, and you're going to try to want to stack them in a way that you max score. That can be really hard to do. I find some of the meteorites super weird in what they expect and not exactly great for scoring opportunities, but you can get lucky, get the 4 perfect cards, and you can get a ton of points that way if everything goes right and you get the right cards. We have a what's that? That is a thing. Scale? A table? I don't know. We have a thing over here which is going to keep track of our strength and our guile. That is like the top of a brain there. This will go up or down as we do certain things. Now, one of the things about this game that's a little weird is the theme is like, nah, it's fine. It's better. It's a better story than Fenris. Again, I am very much on record how much I dislike Fenris, and the story on there I found super juvenile and pretty terrible. This game is post Fenris, and an ancient evil has awoken in Siberia. What's the ancient evil? We don't know. It's some amorphous ancient evil, and things are happening. Okay, fine. So, when we are going around, we're going to flip these tiles. If we ever end our movement on a tile, it does flip. You notice the Automa ignores that rule. They only flip a tile if certain circumstances are matched, and we'll talk about that. But when you flip a tile, you're going to draw out of this bag an amount of corruption. The corruption is going to be orange or teal, which will match, again, with strength and or guile, and then we could do vanquish actions to get that done. When you play a card, you're going to get the core value of the card. The core value of the card is either going to be a strength or a guile, depending on the card that you play. If you have a certain number of stars, you can actually get enhanced core value. And then if you have a worker, you can do the action on the card. So naturally, how many workers do you start with? Well, you start with none. That's a thing. Blows my mind. I feel like every player should be allowed to start with 1 at least, but no, you start with none. That's just bad game design in a game that's supposed to play 5 players, and there's literally only 2 hexes on the board that you can get a worker. And honestly, if the first 2 players go there, they can camp there for 3 turns, no question asked, and no one gets workers except them, which gives them a major advantage. Just blows my mind that people don't start with at least 1 worker. But what do I know? All right, so my companion, her special ability, now your character's ability always gives you the ability to solve, and your companion's ability always gives you the ability to do a vanquish action. But there are subtle differences between all the companions and all of the characters that come in the game. So Akiko, her ability is solve, and we'll talk about solving as we go, or I can gain 1 face-up meteorite card. And then we have Gyro. His main ability is Vanquish, or we can activate the previous card's ability. Now, what does it mean to say face-up meteorite cards? I don't see any cards face-up. Oh, you will. Hold on a second. I have to shuffle this huge deck of cards. I have been having... So Saja says... Oh, wait, hold on. Saja says, by the way, we are on day 63 of ATO, literally 2 tiles from the final boss battle. Started to play almost exactly a year ago, having played it on and off, so with a little extra content coming, I am good for 8 years. Yeah, no doubt. Mike James, I'm the same way, Greg. Arc Nova started strong, faded quickly. Saja says, I've been having fun with Arc Nova. Honestly, played it 1 or 2 players, probably 20 to 25 times now. Enjoyed the expansion as well. Mike says, great to see you, Greg. Great to see you too, sir. Although I'm not exactly seeing you. I'm seeing your avatar in some words, but you know, same thing. Sajid, anyway, have fun with this. I'm dropping out for the night. Cheers. Have a good night, sir. Mike says, later, Sajid. And then he says, when I first started playing this, I wanted to tuck everything. I got ASAP. After a bit, I found some cards are better used as cards and tucked towards the end. Agreed. Agree. All right. Yeah. especially if you have, the workers who actually activate them, which is, important. Let me talk about stars. So there are there are 8 different ways to get a star. One of them is binary, though, so you can either get it this way or that way. When you get a star, it's just like in Scythe, you put the star on the check. As soon as somebody places a 4-star, that player, including, endgame is endgame is triggered, and all players, including the player who triggered endgame, get one more turn. Do we care about first player? No, we don't care about that at all. Is there anything to balance first player? No, it's fine. Just first player is randomly chosen, even against the Automa, which makes no sense. And, even if first player triggers it, they get a whole extra turn. Like, even if it's magically right that doesn't affect balance at all in this game, because I will admit that sometimes there isn't much that the person who triggers endgame, there isn't much they could do on their last turn. It is horrible game design. And, it just, okay, maybe it's not, because even if it's right that it doesn't matter, it feels wrong. It feels really wrong. It feels unfair. It's not good for player experience, and it should be different. And the other problem is, once endgame is triggered, I do not know why every player isn't automatically given a refresh turn so that they actually have a chance to do something that they might need to do. I think there should be an automatic refresh of the cubes, or you just go even turns +2. I don't care. The current system of first player to last player is really broken and not good. So that's that. And even with the Automa, it's like, oh, randomly choose starting player. In a game about efficiency and number of turns mattering, that's ridiculous. I just no. So the Automa always goes first for me, because I'm not randomly choosing starting player. That is dumb. It's really, really dumb. So, okay, that's one of my mini rants for the day. There are things I like about this game, so just bear with me. All right, I kid you not. So we are, what did we talk about? We're talking about how to get stars. That's where we talk about how to get stars. So the first person, I'm sorry, not the first, anybody can do this. So if I have this done, if you're playing a competitive game, anybody can do that. So if I have 4 quests, I can do a boast action, which is going to appear on these tiles up here. If I do the boast action, and I can only do that by gathering, which isn't, it seems weird to gather a boast, but you gather a boast. Again, the way words are used in this game is weird, but I can do a boast action if I can gather it, and I can put a star on there. If you do not do 4 quests, and do a boast action on that, I have no idea how you're winning. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Last time I played with Sarah, she did nothing. She had 1 upgrade. She did 4 boasts. She vanquished a bunch of tiles, and she ended the game, and that was it. It was and I had 4 meteorites, 4 upgrades, I think, and 2 quests, and I got smushed by 15. It was ridiculous. All right, so you have to boast. Meteorite cards. So you can do meteorite cards. You can tuck them there. We'll talk about the meld action. Again, they appear on the central and the north tiles. If you have 4 meteorite cards melded onto your mech, you can do a boast action and put a star there. Upgrades. Again, upgrades go here. If you have 4 upgrade tiles, upgrades on your mech, you can do a boast action and put a star there. If you vanquish the 20-point vanquish tile, that will appear on tile number 20. All the tiles are numbered. Again, this was all randomly laid out. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 20 is going to appear in one of the northernmost hexes. If you vanquish that 20, you can boast and get a star there. If you get 7 vanquish tiles, now not including the 20, you can get a star here. If you have 8 cards under your control, that does not include any cards that are tucked in any of the 3 locations around the mech board. If you have 8 cards that you control, you can get a star here. If you have 7 workers, how many do you start with? 0. Again, that's weird. Or 5 map tiles, you can get a star here. Again, you can only get 4 of these stars. I personally think, and for reasons that hopefully will become clear during this gameplay, that, or at least probably won't in this gameplay, but in a competitive game, I think that this should not exist on this board. And I think it just should be a prereq to win that you have to do 4 quests, and that somebody should have to do 4 other one of these things. I think that'd be a much more interesting game. But what do I know? But the fact that 1/4 of these stars and I think that will become clearer when we get the point scoring. But the fact that you can do 1/4 of your stars here, and you kind of need to do those for point multiplying. It's pretty bananas that that's on the track the way it is. So again, game about turn efficiency, and like that is your number one way to get lots of points. So you best do it. So we're going to take this huge deck of unique cards, and we're going to put 5 of them face up. So whenever I talk about face-up cards, so like that symbol especially, you'll see that a number of times. That means it's going to be the cards that are showing. There are going to be 3 types of cards. Again, meteorites, items, and quests. Bam! That is a meteorite card. I am not going to just say what these cards do as I put them out, because there's a lot of them, and some of them will be swept away as the game goes. So we have 3 meteorite cards, and we have 2 items, and we have 0 quests. So that's a good start. No, it's not. We're going to need quests because we need to do quests. But at some point, we're going to sweep these cards. When cards get swept, they're going to go in the discard pile. They call it the sweep pile. That makes no sense. It's a discard pile. Again, why are we creating terms that don't need to be created? And then we can replace them. So as soon as a card goes away, it is immediately replaced. So at all times in the game, when someone's making a decision, there will be 5 cards for them to choose from. And that is important. So, and you will get to a place where you're like, I just need 1 more item, and nothing but meteorites and quests are going to come out, and that's going to be super annoying. You're like, oh, I need to do 4 quests, and now I have no quests to play with, but that's fine. We shall get a quest as the game goes. So, when you set up for the Automa, you're going to choose the level. Now I'm playing a Night Mazina, which I'm guessing is a fancy mech way of saying nightmare. The Automa has 8 stars that they're going to get, and then their cards are going to trigger based on how many glory stars that they have already attained. This is going to be just like Scythe. This button will advance on most turns, but not all. And as it advances, whenever it hits a star, we're just going to gain another star for the Automa. The Automa at the end of the game is going to score $1 per every map tile they have. They're going to score $2 for every corruption tile they have. Again, they will have their own way of doing vanquishing, and they will score 5 points for every star they have. They will probably get 40 points just from their stars, because I don't foresee a world in which they don't get all 8 stars. If they get their 8th star, we have 1 more turn, so we want to make sure that we get everything done that we want to get done by the time that they're about to get their 8th star. As the levels go up, I think in level 3 you have 4 more turns or 3 more turns before they're triggering endgame. So it really is just your timer, but it's pretty effective. And again, Automa Factory, they're just the best at solo modes for sure. Alrighty then, Tabletop Troubadour. I'm getting the sense that this is a real labor of love for Greg. Yes. Eric, Phoenix Knight, what's up, buddy? For 99% of us board game YouTubers, it really is. As for this game, this is a tough one, but fun and very thinky. Tabletop says I was being a bit sarcastic about expeditions in general, but yeah, I'd imagine streaming is as much fun as it is burdened. Oh yeah. For sure. I have a very good time with this channel, and do wish I could stream more than I have been able to the last couple of months for sure. Mike James, another oddity is when they refer to a card's color, which is determined by the color of the worker on it, not the actual card itself. Yeah, that's also really fun. Yeah, I don't know, man. They made some choices. Choices were made. All right, let's move on. I'm going to take 2 of these cards out of the deck because it was empty. Boom. And again, I'm having the Automa go first because I think the idea that, it should be randomly determined is really silly for a solo game. Make a decision. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're the designer, not me. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to have them have their first turn. Booyah. All right. So first thing we're going to do is look at the top of this card. We're going to see if there is a symbol. One of these will have it. So that symbol right there, the blue cube, move the heck over. We don't have that symbol. So that actually stays put right where it is. Now we're going to do the actions for the northernmost mech, which we were told to put in blue because everything there's blue, and that's put in black because everything there's black. It makes sense. We are going to sweep. So when we sweep, we're going to take all the cards that are face up adjacent to where that blue mech is, and we're going to take them out of the game, put them in the sweep pile or the discard. I'll just say discard. That's fine. And we put this out now, and that is a quest. That quest needs to take place on tile 11, so that's something to think about. Since it's the only quest out, we will probably want to grab that quickly. All right, so that is done. Now we're going to look. Does the Automa have 4 stars? Well, they have 0 stars, so no. If they had 4 stars, they would take this map tile off and we would flip that tile over, but alas, they do not. Instead, the blue mech is just going to move 2 spaces. 1, 2. Excellent. Blue mech moves this way. Black mech moves this way. It's super exciting, and they will like teleport over this way. Now, some things to note. They will totally ignore the player. So if a player was like on a central or a northern tile, again, we would not be able to be on a tile with it flipped over. It would, be revealed at this point. They totally ignore us. We can, using normal movement rules, move past where they are, even if it's not revealed. We just leave it not revealed for that point. That's the only time we can move through a not revealed tile in a competitive game. That would never, ever, ever, ever happen. All right. Dunskies. So the black mech is not sweeping. We don't have 3 stars, so they're not doing a vanquish action, and then the black mech is moving 3. 1, 2, and 3. Most excellent. Now, first turn of the game, we are going to move our cube off the refresh into here, and we're going to do all 3 of our revealed actions. So move, play, and gather. I would like to get I need yellow and blue workers. So that seems like a good place to start. So I'm going to go here. Now in the first turn of the game, you can consider yourself adjacent to any of the 3 hexes near this base camp area. So we're going to go into the isolated settlement, and I'm going to get a yellow worker as my gather action. So the gather action on this tile is get a blue worker or a yellow worker. Now the yellow workers, I can tell you what the workers represent. I probably should have this somewhat. I wish it said it on here, to be honest with you. What do you represent, you little workers? It's not going to tell me, is it? Why are you not telling me? Man, I don't remember. I think the purple are possessed. The green are explorers. I don't remember, guys. And girls. I'm not that smart. And it's somewhere in here. I can't find it. Oh, here we go. Red workers represent soldiers. Blue workers represent engineers. Green are explorers. Yellows are merchants. And purple are possessed. They are possessed by this corruption. So obviously there's no way to get purple workers until we get into the more northern hexes. So I moved. Now when you move, I should have said this, you have to move 1 to 3 spaces. What if I want to move 0? No, you have to move 1 to 3 spaces. It is what it is. So there is a mech that can move 1 to 4. We are not that mech. So I'm moving there. I gathered a blue worker or a yellow worker. I'm going to gather a yellow, and now I play. I'm going to play a Kiko. I'm going to put this in my active row down here, and as soon as I play her, I get her core value. Core value gives me 1 strength. I feel very strong. Now I'm going to put the yellow worker on it, gain 1 face-up meteorite, or solve. Well, clearly I'm not solving because I don't even have a quest in my hand, so I'm going to gain a face-up meteorite. Which meteorite do I want? This meteorite is interesting. It gives me access to a gather action, so I could do play and then gather. This says get $1 per adjacent location. I kind of like that one. This one says, it gives me access to a vanquish action, and I get $1 per 4 value corruption. Well, it might be a long time before I get 4 value corruptions, so I don't love that. So I will take this meteorite. Now, when you gain cards, they normally go into your active row. You don't get the core value for them. You cannot trigger their ability. However, remember, I am Highlander. I can gain cards directly into my hand. Now, I might not always want to do that, but in this case, I will. And that meteorite is now there. We have an open spot here. This is going to get replenished with the recon drone. Now, in subsequent turns, I'm going to move this cube, and I'm going to move it to cover one of these 3 boxes. The 2 boxes that are revealed are the actions I can do, and I can do them in any order. I do have to move this cube. I could choose in a future turn to be like, you know what? I really want to just get all 3 of my actions back. So this turn, I'm just essentially going to rest and I would refresh. I'd take all the cards out of my active row, put them back into my hand, which is not my hand, but you know, we don't use language normally with this game. And then it would just kind of rinse and repeat. I would have a normal turn the turn after that. But for now, the cube stays right there, and I'm going to have to decide what I want to cover up next turn. Excellent. That would be interesting. That's actually pretty cool. I'll probably do that. All right. The Automa's turn. So we're going to flip this over. The cube's going to move. The cube moves here. We get a star, blue or red, blue or black. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. Now, do we have 7 stars? No, we only have 1. So the blue mech is going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. Fast mech. Do we have 0 stars? We have 1, so we have at least 0. So we are going to do a map action. So we're going to take this map tile. We're going to give it to the Automa. I'm going to store their stuff on the base camp board here, and we are going to flip this tile over. It is tile number 7. Tile number 7 is the impact zone. I do love the art in this game. So I'm going to try to say as many positive things as I can. And now when we do a gather action here, we can gain 2 strength, or we can do a meld action. But the meld action is not available at the beginning of this game because there is some corruption there. So I'm going to pull in this bag. Now, out of these 36 tiles, 12 of them will be a 5er. Now, we have to add enough corruption until it says 5+. And we did pull a 5. So I'm going to put that there and offset it. You're supposed to cover that. That's not great. I do think they should just have, you know, little boxes up the side. It would make sense. It'd be super easy for everyone to see what's going on. But I digress. So we're just going to put this offset. That's the corruption. We're at 5+. So at some point we can do a vanquish action and spend 5 strength to remove this, if, you know, we can do that. But since we did that action, we don't actually move the black mech, and that is the end of the Automa's turn. My turn. I'm going to do a gather and a play action. This is going to be super exciting. So I can gather a yellow or a blue worker. I'm going to gather a yellow. Now we're going to do a play action. I'm going to play the Gladstone. Boof. I immediately, now remember, I would not be able to do this as other mechs because this wouldn't be in my hand. But now, since I get directly into my hand, it's a pretty big advantage. But all the mech abilities, I thought they all sound overpowered in a way, but they're actually, I think they are pretty balanced in my gaming experience, but that's fine. So core value gives me a guile. Now, if I had 1 melded card, I would get a 2nd guile. Obviously, I do not, so that is what it is. All right, and now I'm going to power this with the yellow worker I just got, and that says, oh, I can gather again. Guess what? I'm going to get a blue worker because I need a blue worker for my friend Gyro over there, and we're going to go ahead and do that. So I gathered, I played. When I played, it let me gather. Super exciting. Who's ready for the next turn? Great, mechs, go! Booyah! The cube moves again. Boom. It's on the march, everyone. All right. Do we have 6 stars? We do not. The blue mech is going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. The black mech is going to sweep, so all 3 of these cards go away. That's super interesting. They're gone, and I'm always going to fill top to bottom, left to right. Doesn't really tell you that in the instructions, but that makes sense to me. All right, bam. We have a quest for tile 7. I do like that. Interesting. And then it has a refresh action too. And then we have a quest for hex 19. All right, so we did the sweep. Do we have 1 star? We do have 1 star. So we're going to do another map tile action. So we're going to look ahead. 0 to 3 spaces, so we could be on the tile that we're on. Again, 0 to 3 for the Automa. That's not for us. And we're going to say, hey, can we get to a hex that has a map tile? Well, of course we can. We're just going to move 1, and we're doing what we did last turn, and now the Automa has another map tile. If you let them get all the map tiles, that is 14 points. So you might want to think about flipping over some of these yourself, Greg. Yes, I understand. We're on it. So number 9 tile reveals, and that says that allows us to take a card from an adjacent open area. And it's another meld action, but we have to put corruption on there. We're putting 5+ corruption. I'm pulling the first tile. And what do we have? It's a 4, so we have to pull another one because we are not yet at 5. And it's a 3. So we have 7 teal corruption on that. When you vanquish tiles, you don't have to do all of them that are there, but you do have to do the top one first. And I'm going to do the top one. I'm just going to lay them out like that. So the 3 has to be vanquished before the 4. There are some cards that let you change the order of things and whatnot, but we probably won't see any of those this game. Phoenix says choices were indeed made. Whether they were good is in the eye of the beholder. Eric, if you think they were good, I would love to. I would love counterpoints, man. I really would. Like, woof. Oh, by the way, this game is huge. I have my camera out as far as it can go. That's why everything looks so tiny, and I have a little bit of fisheyeing in the corners. I do apologize for that. All right, let's make the magic happen. All right, we are going to do a move and a play action. So I've covered gather, which is interesting, right? You're interested. I'm interested. We're all interested in this. Nope. No face down. That's not a thing. I don't care about that. I'm just gonna do that. All right, so we're going to. I could do that. Moving, playing. I could move, gather, and move, play. I like this. So I'm move, playing, because I did a play, gather. So now I'm doing a move. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm doing a move, play. So I'm going here. I'm gonna play gyro. I'm gonna get a guile because that's his core value. Activate the previous card's ability. The previous card's ability says, hey, I can gather. And if I had 2 melded cards, I get a strength per adjacent location. So what am I gathering off of the secret facility? Well, I get the top card from the deck. Remember, I can gain cards right into my hand. This is a quest. Befriend a local legend. It has to be done at hex 12. I can gain a strength or pay 5 strength to gain $3. That's an interesting ability there. So I can gain that to my hand, which is fine. And then it says I can recover 1 card. Rescue 1 active card and the worker on it, if any, to your hand. I'm looking at the cheat sheets here, which actually are fairly good. You know, something that Stonemaier does pretty consistently in having their player rates. I'm going to rescue a Kiko. The worker comes back to my supply, and a Kiko goes from my active row to my hand. Thank you, Gyro. We are now going to go. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Strength. Yeah, spending a lot of strength in a way I don't love, but we'll make it work. So we're going to do our 4th turn for the Automa. The blue cube does move. Do we have 3 stars? No. So the blue mech just moves 1. The black mech just moves 3. It goes 1, 2, and 3. Jonathan Geddes, I love this game so much. Just kidding, never played it. I'm here to see if it's any good. It could be good. It has its moments. It has some things it does that are really cool, and then I'm just like, it's so close. It's frustratingly close to being a good game. Now, when I move, I could not move 1, 2, 3 as much as I would want to. Because as soon as I move here, unlike the Automa mechs, I would have to stop and it has to be revealed. So all additional movement is lost at that point. But that's fine because I actually need to get a card. So what I'm going to do is move and gather. So I'm going to move back here and I can gather any face-up card. I'm going to gather Trap the Zombies. When I gather it, I can gather it to my hand or my active row because I am special. So it is one of the things you're going to be missing some of the major mechanic of the game, and that cards go here, but it is what it is. I'm going to put this one up here. So normally any other mech, you'd have to put them in your active row. For me, it gives me more flexibility to put them up there. That's fine. So I moved, I gathered a face-up card. That is the end of my turn. We're getting there. Automa, boom, moving. The cube, getting a star, 2 stars revealed. Do we have 4 stars revealed? Hells no. So we're going to move the mech 1 to the right. Here, black mech. Can we get a map tile? We can. So we're revealing another tile. That's their 3rd map token. And we reveal a fishing village. Oh, by the way, this should get replaced. And it is hex number 12, which I like because I do have a quest for hex 12. Oh, that's super interesting. It's hex number 3. I mean, it's a quest for hex number 3. That might change some things. Yeah, the 7 was there, and I was going to go there and play that. I probably still want to do that because it's going to give me a refresh action, and you'll see why. All right, that's pretty cool. So I'm sorry. What do we do? We moved 1. We revealed this thing. It is the fishing village. If you do the gather action there, you get a guile and a strength, and we are going to put 5 worth of vanquish tokens on there. So revealing a lot of central tiles. So that's only 4, so we have to reveal another one. And it's a 5-er. Whoa, that's a lot of vanquishing. That's going to be super rough. Alrighty then. My turn. I did gather and move last turn, so I have to do gather and play, or I have to do move and play, or I can just do a full refresh, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to do move and play. We're going to move to tile 7, hex 7, whatever, one of those. I didn't miss a sweep, right? It's the sweep tile, the sweep symbols I do wish were a little bit bigger and more obvious. So I'm going to play a Kiko. When I play her, I get the core value, which is a fisty fist, and then I'm going to put a thing here. I can gain a face-up meteorite. There are no face-up meteorites. That got really interesting. And now I can solve. So I'm going to solve. So I can take any card I control. That, again, that's in my hand or my active row. I'm going to take Trap the Zombies. Now, if I had Trap the Zombies in my active row and a worker on it, the worker would go back, whatever. So Trap the Zombies. So we're going to look. Am I on hex 7? I indeed am. I'm going to spend 2 strength. Can I do that? I indeed can. I'm down to 0. And then we're going to tuck it. Well, we're going to get our rewards first. What's the reward here? I'm going to... Do I want to play you now? I'm trying to think if I should play that for the... No, because I only have 1 yellow worker. That's fine. So I'm going to tuck this here. So I can never use a special ability again. And it's going to give me the ability to do a full refresh. Now, I don't put the cube there. That's important. Again, I wish it had a different word because, like, you just refresh cards and workers. So any of my cards in my active row are all now back in my hand, and we can put them in my hand in any order. But cards that are active row, when a card's in your active row, it cannot move. That can matter in case there's a card that only triggers on the previous card. Again, just like gyro, there's not a lot of that, but it's just something to be important. And once it's in the active row, it doesn't move. In your hand, you can do whatever you want. Now, the rest of Akiko's thing is, if I solve, I gain the core value of all my solved quests. I get 1 fist because that is my solved quest. So I get all the solved quests, including that. And indeed, here we are. Now, again, I'm maxed out. I can only do 4 quests, 4 upgrades, and 4 meteorites. But getting the quest out of the way is nice because if I can do 4 quests, I can get a star in there, and that's going to enhance my core values of my cards, and it's going to really get me rolling toward getting the other 3 stars that I'm going to need to get to win the game. All right, or to at least trigger endgame and then count it up. Automa's turn. Booyah! Move the blue cube. Do we have 4 stars? We do not. If we did, we'd vanquish 3. If we're just going to move this guy 3. So the north tiles are being very boring and not doing much interesting. And I guess that's redundant. And then the guy in the central tiles is just moving 2. What's going on? Jonathan says, I hated Scythe. Frustratingly close to being a game, just save me $75. Mike James, I like the game. It's not perfect. Some odd choices. It's fun though, which is all I need from it. Solo was fun. 2 players fun, which is how I played at my house. Greg isn't wrong though, to be honest. Jonathan says, yeah, I thought Expeditions was only okay, not bad, just not enough to excite. We'll play it anytime, but culled my collection pretty quickly. Yeah, love Scythe though. Yeah, I'm with Jonathan on that one. This is going to be cold, but I do love Scythe. All right. But yeah, they're very different games. So for so Jonathan K, I'm with Jonathan K. Jonathan Geddes, I'm with if you can easily like this game, it's just not like Scythe. They are very, very, very different games. So the Automa's turn is done. They have advanced 5 out of 6 times. That's a rough it's a rough trend. Hopefully they do stop advancing. And now we're gonna go. So I want to get back to 3 to be honest, and just do these quests while I can. Just get it knocked out. Get it done. Let's go. All right. So we're going to do a move and gather action. I'm going to move here. I gather from a thing. I'm going to gather this quest. I gather a face-up thing. I'm really struggling right now. Ooh, that gives you go boast. Wow. That's a nice thing, but I don't think I think I still have to just do the quest while I'm down. I might not get back down here anytime soon. So I gathered that face-up card. I can gather it to my hand because I'm special, and this comes out. It's a meteorite. Gain $1 per item you control. That's bad. It's not gonna get me a lot of points. So, which is fine. We're going to do the Automa turn. Again, I just moved and gathered. Automa goes. We're moving the cube again. What the heck? Are both of these? No, they're both moved. So, okay, we should be good. 5 stars. We don't have 5 stars. We only have 2. This guy moves 2 spaces. Bop, bop. Sweep with this guy. So he's sweeping away 3 of these suckers. Because again, all the ones that are adjacent to the hex that we're on, we get a quest, another quest, and an item. And then do they have 2 stars? They do. So he stays where he is and takes this map tile. 4 map tiles for the Automa. This gives you a gather action that lets you play a card. It is hex number 11. And we're going to put some corruption on it. Is that a 5? No, it's a 4. And a 5. Wow, so we have 2 9ers out there for the central row. That is extremely rough. At least this one's going to be broken up across strength and guile, so that'll be a little easier. What am I going to do? This is a good question. That's another one. Man, I could just knock out all these quests. That's just $1. Wait, what did I was supposed to get something else here. Oh, yeah, I was supposed to get $1. I get a refresh and $1 for doing that quest. Dollars are points. You can't spend them on anything as the game goes, which I wish you could like spend them to hire a worker. I think there's so many like little interesting things they could have done to make this game more interesting. But alas, they did not. So I'm gonna do a play. Get a face up into your hands. Play and gather. It's interesting. That sucker's over there. Just $1. Rescue all the cards, but that's useless. Do I take the 5 and just get the quest done? Yes. Yes, I do. Where's my refresh action? Oh, you don't see it yet. This is a rescue a card action, though. Great. So I'm going to play and gather. So it lets me gather a card. I'm going to get number 5. This is going to come out. It is a meteorite. And then I'm going to play a Kiko. I'm going to power it with a yellow. When I play the Kiko, I get a strength. And that's going to let me solve. I'm on hex 3. I have to spend a guile. So my guile goes down to 1. And I get a map token from the supply. Could be useful in case I'm trying to get this star at any point, because 7 workers is a lot. And this goes in. Since I solved with a Kiko, I'm going to get a guile and a strength because I get the core values of all of my solved quests. Oh no. This is going to come back up here, and we can see what I have done. Most excellent. Yeah, so I think we're just going to knock these 4 quests out, which will give me an early boast, which I think will help, and then I could just go into a vanquish, go on a vanquish party. I think is the goal here. Which means, honestly, this meteorite, I might hold on to it. No, is that the one? Oh, this quest I could, in theory, hold on to it. Spend the 5 to get 3 money. But I don't know. I have to vanquish so much. Spending 5 strength is a lot. All right, so we have played and we have gathered. That is my turn. So I can move and play and do another thing. Then I could draw a card there. I like all of that. Toma's turn. What do we got? The cube is moving again. How many times I have to count how many times it doesn't move. The North mech has 2 stars, so it is doing a map action. So it's again going to get a lot of points from map tiles so far. This flips. Now that is the observatory. It is tile number 40. You can gather a map tile from the supply there, and there's corruption there. The corruption value there is 8. So we got a 5er that came out and a 5er. So 10 guile to clear the corruption off of that. Done. And now the black mech, do we have 3 stars? No. The black mech just moves 2, 1, and 2. My turn. I am going to... Do I want any of these cards face up? We have all 4 quest cards. What's that meteorite card? Bam. Gain $1 for each green card you control. I have none. That sounds great. Fantastic. Gain 1 for an item you control. I have none. Yeah, I think I'm just gathering. I think I'm just not going to worry about meteorites right now. Because this is silly. This is silly. Bam. So I need to go here anyway. I'm going to move and play. So I'm going to move here. And I'm going to play Gyro. And activate with the blue, activate the previous card's ability. What does that do? That lets me solve. Yay! So I'm solving this. Oh, when I played him, I got a guile. Sometimes I forget to do that. And I have to solve this, I pay a strength. I get $1. And this gets tucked, and I get 2 strength and a guile, because that's what I have here. So my strength goes up to 4, and my guile goes up to 4 as well. Because that's part of Akiko's ability, and I activated all of her ability. So I'm very much looking to get the 12, finish out the quest part of this, and then see what cards are available to me at that point. So I can move here, I can gain a top card, rescue Akiko, and we'll probably end up being the ones revealing that, which is fine. Hopefully it will be Hex 8. We go. All right, we're not moving that. Do we have 3 stars? No, we only have 2. Otherwise, they would have gained both of those, which would have been 4 points for them. So that's a little bit lucky. They moved there, and then the black mech is going to move here. My turn. I'm going to move and gather. So, because I don't want to gather and play. That seems silly. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3. And I'm gathering. I gather the top card of the deck. What are you? It's another quest. Ooh, pay a guile to meld. That I don't mind. That could be super helpful. If I solve this quest, but it's 14's up there. It's 3 guile and lets me meld. And then I'd immediately be able to do an upgrade action. No, my bad. I lied. I think paying the guile to meld is not bad. Activates with the yellow. I'll probably keep this. And then I can rescue a card. I'm going to rescue Akiko. The white worker comes back here. That's done. Atoma's turn. The blue cube moves. It's a 3rd star. Yay. Sweep. Did I miss any sweeps? Nope. We've only had 3. This is our 4th. This is the only card that's adjacent. This comes there. It's another meteorite. It's one per melded meteorite. That I like. They have 3 stars, so it's going to do a map tile action. It's going to get this. It's going to flip this. It's tile number 15. When you gather there, you can get 2 money. There is 8 plus corruption on that tile. So we have a 3. And we have a 3. And we have a 4. That adds up to 10. If my math abilities are not failing me. Done. I did the, yeah, he just moved 1. The black mech, we don't have 4 stars, so the black mech's just moving 2, 1, 2, and that jerk just very much got in my way. What an imbecile. Which is fine. We have to move really anyway. So I did a gather and move. So I'm going to do a play and move. So I'm going to play. What's your name? I'm going to play this meteorite card. I'm going to activate this. When I play that card, I get a guile. I think I've been doing this. I might have forgotten a guile at some point. I don't think so. And then I'm going to gather. I'm going to gather the top card of the deck. It's another quest. I've already quested out, but that's totally fine. And because that would be 7. That gives me a map tile. That gives me a meld. This gives me a worker and a guile. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. So I gathered the top card. Again, when I gather there because I am the Highlander and I can rescue a card. I will rescue Gyro because why not? And now I will move. I'm going to move here. So again, it's weird because I just gathered, but I gathered through a play action, and you can gather through a play action there. Like, so there's things get really funny with like the verbiage in how this game works. But I'm going to move here. That gives me a map token. I only have 2. Again, this is the Automa supply, and I only got 1 from the supply there. This flips. We have the location number 13. I mean, at some point I might just have 8 cards in my hand. We have to put 5 plus things on here. Yeah, I haven't gotten any items, right? Yeah, I just keep pulling quests that I don't need, which is great. So that's a 4. And this is a 3. So that is 5 plus, so we're good there. Automa's turn, doesn't move, has a star, is going to move 0 to 3 spaces to a place that has a tile that has a map token, moves there, flips this over. Something important to note that's also a little weird. So that gives you access to a sweep action where you could refresh all the cards, and you could get 1 benefit from any adjacent hex. But something that's worth noting, when you're moving to look for a target, you ignore how much the mech would otherwise move. So like on this card, if there wasn't a target 0 to 3 spaces away, it would move 1, but you still move 0 to 3 spaces, even though it otherwise would only move 1. So I'm sure there's a better way I could have said that, but hopefully that made some sense. All right, so that's done. This guy, we don't have 5 stars, so he's going to move. He moves 1. He ignores me for all purposes, so he goes there. What a guy. All righty then. That gives me a boast. So this is not exactly the turn of dreams, but I will deal with it. Yeah, so I'm going to move and gather because I can't move and play, and I can't play and gather and do what I want. There's really nothing great for that. What is this? Gain an exposed benefit from an opponent's location. Oh, this card should have come out of the game. I randomly drew this. Anything that refers to an opponent, so number 63, this card should have come out of the game. I'm going to replace it. Yeah, I think this was the card I just pulled for the last turn. So 63, anything that refers to opponent, you don't use in the solo game. And I got an item instead. That's better. Have you moved to an opponent's location? This also refers to an opponent. That comes out. And it's a meteorite. Gain $1 per upgrade. What a terrible, terrible card. I want items. So, of course, that was not able to refer to an opponent. I don't think I kept any that referred to an opponent, did I? Gain a thing. Ah! I did. There was zero way to fix that. How the heck do I pick 3 of those cards in the first half of this game? I mean, I can't fix it. There's zero way to fix that. Super annoying. Yeah, 56 should not have been in the game. $56 shouldn't have been in the game. I got this from a gather action. It also gave me a map tile. There's only 4 cards, which is so annoying, because sometimes you just don't read these things, man. I feel like I would have just picked up 5. And, I mean, there was a meteorite card out there for a minute that I could have picked up. So if I picked up 5 and moved, instead of having this, which means I have to put back 1, 2, and 1, because I did 1 less solve action, I would have just picked up another meteorite card. So because this card was the next card of the deck, I'm pretty sure that's right. So 3 would have been replaced with 5. So when I gained a card, I would just gain this, and I would have moved there and done that. The question is, how do I, instead of doing the solve, I would have picked up a meteorite card that was on the board, and the meteorite cards on the board. This hasn't been swept in forever, right? This has been out, and it's a terrible card for me. So I would just have had that and gathered that with Akiko's ability instead of solving a second quest. So then this is going to be replaced at that point. At some point, all of these are random. I'm not going to try to reconstruct the entire deck, but at least I'll get the cards out of here that don't belong. Activate the ability of any face of meteorite. All right, so I've only done 2 solves. What are the numbers? 17, 30, 56, or 63? 17, 30, 56, and 63. 17, 30, 56, and 63. Definitely changes things. All right, that's fine. I don't. There probably was a better way to figure that out, but I'm not gonna stress it too much. Boom. What's going on? Oof. Yeah, I'm calling some games right now. Expeditions isn't on the list though. Maybe I'm just weird. Cosplayer news. October 12th feature a new campaign with at least 2 new factions. Yeah, I saw it. Will be the finale for the game. Really, really cool. Cosplayer Harbinger. Will be at least 18 months. Campaign this fall. Okay, this is gonna be time to explore Voidfall, Imperium Horizons. Then definitely super excited. I had no idea it was coming for Cloudspire. Same plus Uthia. Thomas Garrett says, went back to the channel history and noticed Spirit Island hasn't been featured for a minute. Taking a break from it, or maybe I just missed it. I am definitely taking a break from it solo, not with my friend. And then I do have Nature Incarnate. I haven't really had a chance to really dive into the spirits, and just with me not streaming as much, I've just had to use opportunities to get my review copies on the channel as soon as I could. So we'll be back to Spirit Island soon for sure. So I do apologize to my Spirit Island fans. All right. Well, it is what it is. I'm recreating as much as I can. So instead of solving, I use her other ability. which meant that I gained a face-up meteorite. I'm pretty sure that meteorite was out there all game. Again, all this crap is random. I took a meteorite that is pretty much junk for me. I've only solved 2 quests though, so since I didn't solve the one, I would have gotten. I got 2 less guile because that was a guile one, and I got 1 less strength because that wasn't triggered the second time. So that is not ideal. But I can't move play because I played last time, so I can gather move. Makes sense. I'll get 2 guile back. No, I'll move first, and I'll get a guile and a strength. Get me up to 4 and 4. That is better. So I have another quest. I'll figure out where 14's up here. That will work out. We're going the Automa's turn. The blue cube is moving. They have 2 stars. We're doing a vanquish action with the blue mech. It's vanquishing the top vanquish tile, which is this one. It's going to go on their board, 2 points at the end of the game. It has 2 stars, doing a vanquish action, taking the top tile there. It's going to be 2 points at the end of the game. I guess most of these tiles move it. There's 3 that don't. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It moved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It moved 9. Okay. My turn. I'm doing a play and move. Oh, and the quest 3 gave me a map tile, so I have to put that back. I didn't want it anyway. Oh, but I spent the guile for that. Don't forget. So I actually get that guile back that I spent to solve it. So that should be right. I am not 100%, but I can't realistically go back and figure that all out. So sorry about that. Can't face-up item to your hand. Do I start just blitzing items? Maybe. That's silly. All right, we're going to play and move. I do need to get some map tokens, at least prevent them from getting things. So I'm going to play a Kiko. I'm going to power her with this yellow. I get her core strength of a core value of a strength. And then I'm going to solve. I'm going to solve this location 12. It costs me 2 strength. I go from 5 down to 3. I get a guile and I get a green worker. And I get all the core values of what I have. I have 3 things that are all strength, so I go from 3 to 6. And this is done. And now that's 3. Quest, take 2. And we have meteorites. How many meteorites do we have? We have just 2. We have 0, well, 3. We have 0 items. What is the order? Upgrade. So I can gain an item and upgrade. So more blue workers could be interesting. Gain an item, upgrade. Gain an item, upgrade. Where's the blue workers? All the way down there. That's awesome. God, it's so hard to get these workers, man. It's really stupid. Pay yellow to meld. Gain an item, upgrade. What gives me a blue worker? Nothing. And location 8 is where you get to refresh all your cards. They're all over here. Haven't stumbled into another refresh. Oh, wait, so that was just a play. I'm going to move. I get this map token, which is my second. This flips over. I gain it. Gathering is getting a card, and then there's a boast action on there that has only 5+. It is the only northernmost tile that only has 5+ on the vanquish sides of things, and I am unable to boast now because I had to get rid of that quest, which is really annoying. It's fantastic. All right, so now there's 8 there. The Automa Factory, we're going to reshuffle these. Gain an item. Move. Meld. So we're doing quests. really need another blue worker, but man, that is a far distance to go to get a blue friggin' worker. Oh, you're supposed to add these two. Again, you take 2 cards out, so you add all the cards back together, and then take 2 new ones out whenever the deck is empty. I need blue workers, but there's no mechanic to let me get them that is reasonable. All right, this goes away. Automa's turn is moving the blue. It has 3 stars. It's going to do a meld action 1. Even if there was a meld action 3, it would just stay there and take the 1. And then the black worker's going to move. Black mech's going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. Gain an item. Do I have? Well, all right. I'm going to move and gather. I'm going to gather. There's only freaking 1 item. I'm going to gather this. I'm going to any face-up card and gather it to my hand. And then I'm going to move here. I'm going to get this map token, which gives me 3. This is going to flip over. Am I close to boasting? I have 7 cards I control. So this is the Ice Cave. There is a Possessed in there. You can get $1. And there's 8 corruption value on this one. So 5 and 4 is 8. Don't... maybe. I can play and gather... Meld another meteorite. I can probably meld all these suckers pretty quick, although it's really gonna hurt my I only have 3, so I need I have a 4th down here. That's fine. Okay. So I gathered and I moved. The Automa's turn. Oh, that has to get replaced. It's a meteorite. I have control 4 meteorites, so I'm not going to take any more. Automa's turn. Nope, that's the wrong deck, Greg. Move the thing. It has 2 things. It's going to do a map action. It can move 3. Remember, it totally ignores me. So 1, 2, map token. Flip this over. It's the 20 location. We have 3 stars. There's a vanquish 1. Can it get to a location that has at least 1 corruption tile? It can, so it's going to go 1, 2, and it's going to take 1 tile because it's only times 1. So it has 4 of those tiles already, and I have 0. That's not great. All right, then. I'm going to... get 1 per upgrade. Get 1 per item you control. And that's game 1 per adjacent location. Great. I'm going to move and play. I think that's right. So we're going to move and play because I just did move and gather because I gathered first and I moved. So I'm going to move here. I get a 4th map token. And then I'm going to play. I don't know what I'm going to play yet. So that's get an adjacent card, which isn't that great. 8+ on the corruption meter. And I could do a meld action with that. Which I don't think I will. I kind of want to boast. So that's a 5. And that's a 3. So it'd be 8. And then I'm going to play this meteorite with the blue to gain a face-up item to my hand. I'm going to gain this item to my hand. And that is fine. Woof. Oh, when I play this, I get a guile. Right, I have to do that. It's gonna let me meld right away. Great. This comes out, it's another item. Excellent. The Automa's turn, we're moving this 4 stars. It does not have 7 stars, so it does not take the 20 tile. It's moving 3. 1 ignores me entirely. 2, 3. It has 0 stars. Cannot move 3 to get to a place that has a map token, so it just moves 2. 1, 2. My turn. We are going to. I really wish I could take a freaking boast action somewhere. No dice. There's a boast here, boast there, boast there, boast here. But that 20 is rough. Did I have a card that let me boast? I don't think so. Alright, I'm going to gain 1 per meteorite you control. That's interesting. Could help me control 8 cards. Yeah, I'm going to gather play. I'm going to gather a tile, a card adjacent to me. Again, I can gather it to my hand. And then I'm going to play the goggles, put a green on it. When I do, there's an instant benefit there that gives me a map token. So that is 5 map tokens. I gain it from the supply. And whenever I gain a map token, I can gain a guile. I will absolutely gain another guile. And rearrange my locations corruptions. There is really no reason to do that. But I really want to boast. At some point, that would be nice. Automa's turn. Cube is moving. Does it have 5 stars? It does not. It moves 2. Sweep. Did I miss a sweep? I did not. Oh, this should have been replaced. And then it's going away because the black mech is adjacent to all 3. 1, 2, 3. Discard a card against gain a worker. I'm making sure didn't make the mistakes with the numbers. I guess you probably should just take those out. We have 73. Take those out before you play. 56, 17, 63. So we're just missing 30. Yeah, I would assume it'd be pretty obvious. I was pretty obvious with the other ones. Yeah, I don't see how. 38, 22, 40. I mean, the numbers are real small. All right, so we did the sweep. And now we have 2 stars. It's going to be able to do a map action by going over here. Gets this. That's going to be a point for it into the game. This comes out. That is another meld 1. And it gets 5 corruption on it. I very much need more blue workers. And I could very much. Oh, this just got a 5er right off the jump. So I played and gathered. I'm going to play. I'm going to move and play. I take the 20 and I boast. I think that makes the most sense. I really don't think the 20 is that great, though. I can play and move. Where do I want to gather? Upgrade. I'm going to have to rest. Woof. Oh, I know what this is 8. That's going to give me a full refresh. And then I just need to vanquish like crazy. Boast, boast, boast. Boast. 4 boasts. And none of these gave me a refresh. Yeah, I probably should have grabbed the purple when I was there. That's probably what I should have done. But I'm gonna have no interest in gathering. Like 0 interest in gathering. Gain 1 per available worker. That's pretty bad for my current setup. I need another blue worker so bad. But I'm not going all the way down there for that. So I'm going to move and gather. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, get this last map tile. So I have a star there. I have 8 cards. I have a star. I'll have a star there. I guess I just do the meteorite. So yeah, maybe I take that. Don't worry about vanquishing, but woof. So I knew what that tile was. That's an upgrade action. So maybe I just won't be doing a lot of vanquishing. So I can sweep, I can take all those cards away. It doesn't really matter, but the more important thing is I get to refresh all my cards and all my cards and my workers. And I have 9 cards. Alrighty then. Automa's turn. It moves. It has 2 stars. It's going to take one of these tiles, so it has 5 tiles. It has 2 stars. It's going to take one of these tiles, so it has 5 tiles. It has 6 tiles. That's a lot of points. My turn. I'm going to move and play. I'm going here. I'm going to play a Kiko. Do with a yellow. She gives me a core value of a strength. And I'm going to solve number 14. That lets me spend 3 guile, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to get 1 guile and 3 strength back. And I am also going to be able to meld. So which of these cards do I want to meld? Oh no, I'm not going to have 8 cards anymore. That's a problem. Yeah, whatever. I'll be able to get another card. All right. We will. So the meteorites, I can gain 1 per upgrade, which would be 0. I can gain 1 per meteorite card I control. So that should be pretty steady money. 1 per item I control, that would be bad. 1 per melded meteorite, that's a late game play. 1 per adjacent location, that's only 2. So I will play this one. This goes here, and then all the meteorite scoring triggers. I control 4 meteorites, but I can only get 3 money. Again, control counts all meteorites I have except for the one I just melded. Right, and I got the ability to do that because of quest number 14. And like quiche, I really need to boast. I can go there and gather. That gives me a purple. Hmm. That's probably my best bet. All right, Automa's turn. Bam. Sweep action with this guy. We have 4 stars. Can it do a map action? It can't. There are no more max actions on the board. So it's going to move 2s, 1, and it passes right over me. It does not think I exist. And we have 3 stars. It's going to do a vanquish action. It moves 1. It just takes 1 token. So that's its 7th token. That's a lot of points for it. That did not move. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it just moved 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from where we started, which is great. Cool. My turn. I'm going to do a move and gather. Let's start getting some boast stars. So we're going to move here. 1, 2, 3. I can't go over that. And then we're going to gather. I'm going to be able to get a boast. But how do I want to do that? I think I do want to get back to 8 cards. I only control 7. If I'm not vanquishing much, who cares? Man, I need... I'm going to play the Brainstone. Power... is that dumb? What's the green? Yeesh. I could get a purple. Meld another meteorite. No, I need to get items. I just need to get an item. Alright, so I'm going to get any one benefit from any adjacent thing. That's going to let me, I'm going to use this benefit here, which lets me play a card. I'm going to put a worker on it. So I get the core ability, which is a thing. I have 1 melded card, so I get another thing. And I could do the bottom action too, which is, like, again, activating the ability. Gain a face-up item to my hand. Woof. Well, first I would have swept. And hopefully an item comes out. Otherwise, all of this makes no sense. But I would have still gone to this place. So I'm sweeping all the cards away. That's an item. That's a quest. That's a meteorite. That's a quest. That's a meteorite. So I will take this item to my hand. That gets replaced. So again, the sweep thing, let me put everything into the discard pile, which is called the sweep. And now I'm going to boast. I control 8 cards, 2 in my active row, 6 in my hand. So I can put a star here. Now, as soon as I have a star done, everything else is going to get enhanced. This got enhanced because I had a melded card. And now I could just start melding like crazy. Maybe put these items on. These items are a good way to get points. What can I activate? That's not great. That's fine. I can boast again and then move. I moved and gathered. I can move and play. I do want to get some of these. I can get those 3, and that's a meld. I need another blue worker so freaking bad. Ooh, rescue a card. I don't have a red. Wolf. This is really bad. I'm going to be very inefficient down the stretch here, I think. That's a rescue a card, but that's so far down there. Alright, Automa's turn. I have 5 map tokens. I have 8 cards. So I could do this one, I could do this one. And if I just meld 3 times, that would be interesting. That's a meld. It's fine. Automa's turn. Again, not the Automa's deck. We move the cube, gets it 5 stars. Since we have 5 stars, it vanquishes 2. It's going to be a lot of points for it. We have 0 stars, but there are no more map tiles, so just moves 2. 1, 2. Alright. I am going to play and move. I'm going to play this. When I play that, I gain 2 of those. Playing with a yellow. It gives me a gather action. If I had 2 melded cards, I can gain strength, but I can gain these in any order, I believe. So it's not going to matter. So I'm going to gather an ability of any adjacent card. Do I want a purple? Yes, I want a purple. I'll take a purple worker. I can only get 1 ability, so I don't gather the entire hex. I am going to sweep, though, because I wouldn't mind getting more items out here. So I'm going to sweep all the cards. I'm gathering from here. So I sweep all the cards. I get one thing shown from any adjacent hex. There's another item. And then I can boast again. I will boast the fact that I have 8 cards, which is what I should have done the last time, because that was the whole point. I still have 8 cards, so we're good. And now I'm going to move again, because I did a move and gather last time. I did a play. I gathered because of the card, and I'm going to move my buttocks over. Do I want the 20? Not really. I could take it pretty easy. But I need to rescue cards. I need to rescue cards. Woof. I'll move here, and that's just going to give me a lot of points in the end of the game. All right, Automa's turn. Move the cube. Running out of time. Do a sweep. These go away. This comes in. It's a quest. This comes in. It's a quest. There's my item still. We have 3 stars. Do a map action. There are more map tiles. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, it skips me entirely. So 1, 2, 3. We have 4 stars. Vanquish 3. Woof. A lot of points. My turn. We are going to have to refresh. There's no way around it. None of these give me a vanquish. I could play and gather. I could definitely play and gather. Man, I need a refresh. The refresh is all the way off the map, which isn't great. So I'm going to play and gather. Gives me another thing out here. I play this. I would get 2 strength, but I'm maxed out at 10. It's going to let me meld another meteorite. I control 2 items. I'll control 2 meteorites after this. I have no upgrades. There's 2 adjacent locations. This one's a late game one. That's the next one I'll do, actually. What I did move and gather last turn. I'm gonna do gather and play this turn. I think they're just better. So I'm gonna gather 2 points. And I'm going to play the meteorite. I'm maxed out there. It lets me meld another meteorite. And I will meld this one. As much as it's been nice to gain items. I might just use those 2 items just to get 2 points every time. So that's going to give me, I have 2 meteorites I control and 2 items I control. No, 3 meteorites I control and 2 items I control. So that's going to be 5 points from that. That's a tenner. Because I have 2 meteorites, 1 meteorite there, 2, 3, and then 1, 2 items. So 5 points. Automa, so I moved and played. No, I gathered and played. I think I'm going to have to refresh. For sure. Meld another meteorite. One per upgrade. That's dumb. 1 per adjacent location. Yeah, I'm going to have to refresh too much. Automa's turn, nothing, no map action, so just moves 1. 5 stars, vanquish actions moving here, taking this. So it has 12. My turn, I have to do a refresh, which is really not good. Automa's turn. I can do this and this. Yeah, it's fine. Automa's turn. It moves a thing. Gets a 6-star. It sweeps. This goes away. There are no more map actions possible, so just moving 1. And this guy moving 1, doing a meld action because we have 4 stars, so that's another one. I'm coming off my refresh action, so I have access to all 3. So I'm going to play. I'm going to play Jiro. I have 2 stars, so I get 3 Guile, but I'm already maxed out. I'm going to put this. I'm going to activate. I'm going to vanquish. I'm going to take all 3 of these. And since I vanquish with Jiro, I can activate the uncovered ability, which lets me meld. And I'm going to meld this one, because melding another meteorite isn't going to be that useful. Oh, by the way, so I have to vanquish all 3 of those. I had to spend all 10 of my strength, so down to 0. So I play. Yeah, I'll put this here. I'm going to move and gather. So I'm going to move and gather this item. Oh, that's interesting. It's going to let me meld again. I like it. So it has to be an adjacent card. So I will take this. I can gather it to my hand. So when I gain that, I have 2 meteorites I control. Oh, do I gain that? No, because I cleared it up there, and that's the meld ability. So I would have been there. So I did that out of turn. So I had 2 meteorites I control, 2 items I control, even though I grabbed that 3rd one, and 3 melded meteorites. So I get 7 points for that. So I'm going to put in 3 and take a 10. 1, 2, 3, taking a 10. This gets replaced. Again, so every time you meld a meteorite, you get all those trigger again. That's 6 points from that, so it's pretty strong. We'll see. This moves 4 stars, vanquishing 2, moving 2, doesn't count me at all. 1, 2. My turn. I only get 2 to 3 actions, so I'm going to move and play. So, nope. That should be fine. Yeah, move and now I'll move and gather. I'm going to sweep. I don't care. I can get an adjacent thing. I'll get 2 points. And I'm going to gather a boasting action. I'm going to be able to boast that I have 5 map tiles. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good way to end this thing. Doesn't move. 3 stars. Vanquish 2. Can get to a tile with 2. It can get to a tile with any, because it'd go 1, 2, ignores me, takes these 2 tiles, which have a ton of points. So even though I move 2 on the card, it still can get to a place where it can vanquish. This guy just moves 1. My turn, I'm going to play and gather. I'm going to play this item. It gives me a meld ability as an instant ability. I'm going to meld this one. When I meld, I get 1 per meteorite I control. I only control 1 now. 1 per item I control. I control 2. No, 3. Did I just get another item? Yeah, I got right. So 1 plus 3, plus 1 per melded meteorite. I have 4. Oh, there's no max on that one. Interesting. So 1 plus 2 plus 4, and then per adjacent location there's 3. So 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 is 10. 1. No, 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3 is 11. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. All right, so with 11 points out of that. And then I can, again, I'm playing and gathering. I'm gathering. I can get one ability from adjacent location. I'm just going to take the 2 points. And then I'm going to also boast, which lets me put my 4-star here. So I have one more turn. Automa has one more turn. And I don't think, again, my only vanquish ability is here. So I don't know if that's going to matter. I played and gathered, so I can move and gather. In theory, I should be able to get an upgrade out, which should at least be some points. So Atoma's last turn. This has to be shuffled. So they only have 6 stars, which is interesting. They did a ton of vanquishing. And again, I don't know if location 30 came out. That would be really annoying if I missed it. And then once per turn, if I meld the card, either gain its core ability, so I melded a card, I can gain its core value or activated ability. Oh, that's interesting. So once per turn, if I meld a card, which I did, I can gain its core value or activate its ability. Well, I'm already maxed out here, but I will activate its ability. So that was on, and this is active now for the rest of the time until I reclaim. So it's another thing about the abilities. A lot of them aren't just one-time things. So it let me gather, which again would have let me, I took the 2, it would let me boast again, which is helpful. That's the one. Do I want to play a card here is really the question. Green, gain 1 face-up meteorite, or solve. That's not great. Gain, because I could potentially play one of those things. I'll just, can I activate that twice? I think so. Because I'm getting a gather action, and then that gives me a gather action again. So I don't think there's any rule against me gathering that twice. So that makes the most sense. I'll just get 2 more points. And again, I got that. That's my fault. So because I had this card, which let me meld, there's also an extra ability on there that let me activate the ability of the card I melded. So I get 2 more points from that. All right, we're going to the Automa's turn. We're taking 2 cards out. The next card says move. We're moving there, get another star. That's our 7th star. We're vanquishing 3. Can go here to vanquish 1. And then this is the last turn for the Automa because I already triggered endgame. This goes 1-2. My turn, I have 1 turn. So we're actually playing even turns because, that's a novel idea. Can I get to a place where I can upgrade? I can't vanquish. Math token doesn't make any sense to me. Great, I'll go here. I'm going to move and gather. So I can move here. I'll get a purple worker just because I can. I'll get 1 point. I'm going to put in 4. Oh, man. I'll put in 10. I'll put in 9, actually. So 6 of these and this 3. And get a tenner. And I'm going to do an upgrade. Upgrades give you points just on the card themselves. So this one's worth 3, this one's worth 4. And now, since this is upgraded, I would always have this ability without having to use a green worker to activate it. So they're really efficient if you get them early, but I just chase points with the meteorites instead. So again, my 4 stars, 4 quests, 4 melds. I had 8 cards in my hand, and I had 5 map tiles. Let's figure out the scoring. So the Automa is going to score. The Automa is going to get 5 points for each star, so that's going to give them 35 money. So we got 20, 30, 5. The Automa is going to score 1 point per map tile. So that's 9. So of course, well, that's fine. Other games that'd be a little more annoying. And then we're going to get a lot of points for how many tiles they vanquished. They vanquished 13 tiles, so that is 26 points. So 2, 5, 6. So the total score for the Automa is 20, 40, 60, 70 on the dot, which is actually a fairly low scoring game for the Automa. So 35 plus 9 is 44, plus 26 is 70. Dunskies. All right, my scoring. I get, it's all here. The amount of money I have, which is going into this, is 27. I was really able to stack these meteorites pretty nicely, right? And then I spammed that, got a point from that. So that kind of worked out pretty well. I got 2 points from the quest I did, legit. I get 2 points per vanquish tile, which is only 6, so not a lot from there. I did very little vanquishing. That's why the Atoma's got all those tiles. I'm going to get 4 points for the item that I've added to my board. So the meteorites give you points immediately, the items give you points at the end. And then I'm going to get this. This is why you have to do quests. I mean, it's super broken if you don't. So I have 4 stars here. Because I have at least 3 quests done, for each star I place, I get 10 points. So again, I had a couple of games where it's like the first game we played, it's like Sarah couldn't. She literally had the ability to get a star, but she couldn't get to a boast action because she couldn't do move and gather. I really think as soon as someone triggers that game, it should just go to refresh, and everyone gets the chance to move, play, and gather. Or you have to make even turns. Like you cannot have it the way it is and that be right. But anyway, I have 4 stars. So the fact that you can get a star by adding 1 more quest, and you kind of need to do 3 quests to maximize how many the point value for each star you get. Like it's really dumb that this is even on here, in my humble opinion. You should just have stars, and I know popularity is on Scythe, where if you get to the top of the track, you get a star. It's so hard to get to the top of the track. That makes sense to me. This is silly. So I'm going to get 40 points just for having 4 stars. All right. And again, one of the stars is for the quest, which gave me the extra points. You're way too double, triple rewarded there for that to make any sense from a design standpoint. I'll get off my soapbox now. So that gives me, putting this in here, that's making change to get a 20. That gives me 87 points. So I smushed the Automa 87 to 70. Again, the Automa was, things just kind of came together for me in the end. I had so many abilities that gave me melds. I was able to meld those 4 things really quick. I didn't need to vanquish. A lot of times when you're doing melds and items and stuff, you're getting it because you're doing vanquish actions, which give you access to that ability with your companion. But for me, I was just able to kind of do things other ways and just gathered enough cards that I could get the 8 in my hands. And even with 2 refresh turns, I was still able to make it work. When this tile's in the middle of the game, that as a way to refresh your board is like really strong. And man, I went to it the one time just because I was like, oh, I know 8 hasn't come up yet. Let me just go over there because that was the last tile to be revealed. So 87 to 70. It's an interesting solo puzzle. I think this game is very close to being great, and I just have some problems with some design choices, and for me, that's enough. And with all the games on my shelf, I just don't see how this has like earned its spot. But I think if you have a lighter gaming group, you love the mechs, maybe you put a couple of house rules in there to balance some things out. If you're only playing a solo, learn from my mistake. Make sure you get those cards out of there early. Was it card 30 was the last one I ever saw? Because I think, once you again, it's a pretty big deck of unique cards. Here we go. Yeah, refresh and gain something per player. So that would have been pretty obvious that that's not made for solo for sure. But woo! What's going on? Very excited for Classifier. Harbinger, says Jonathan Geddes, but will be at least 18 months. Campaign this fall. Jonathan says, oh, okay. I read this. Thomas Gar went back to the channel history. Right. Thomas says, hey, no worries. Plenty of games out there. I've been away from games a while now. Wild to see another big X-Pack come out for Spirit Island. I feel like I remember hearing he's not done expanding the game, which is wild but true. Spirit Island is, there's the Tahan themed expansion, which actually was announced before Nature Incarnate and before horizons of Spirit Island, for that matter. So yeah, I talked to Eric Royce at PAX Unplugged. The dude is super cool. I could talk to him forever. Wildly impressed with him as a person and a designer. And I have big hope for Nature Incarnate. For the Dahan themed expansion. I know he's really jazzed about it. My early returns on Nature Incarnate, and not across the board. I find that there's been a power creep issue. Um, and I think, look, you get better at designing a spirit, it makes more sense. So the spirits just end up being just across the board stronger, and in a way that isn't exactly what made me fall in love with the game to begin with. So I like Nature Incarnate. I like the spirits. I just find them all a little bit stronger than I want them to be. So that's like kind of a me problem, and it has been one of those things where like there's so much content now. I don't know. I less is more for me with most games, right? And I like big sprawling games, and then just stop. Like, I need more? Do I need two more factions in Cloudspire? Probably not, right? But for the people that love it and are completionists, I think that's one thing too. Like, if it's tapping in, if it's like legit, like this is really going to add to the game, or it's like, hey, we know people are going to buy this. And look, businesses have to make money too. So like, I'm not faulting at that mentality either. It's just, I don't know. Especially when I was really doing a lot of content creation, it's like Spirit Island. I was like, man, I know I got 17 freaking more. What the hell they called? Aspects, and 8 more spirits, and I'm like, kind of like want to go back. I mean, play the spirits I like and know and get better, and like that's what really draws me to these games, like that elusive pursuit of mastery, right? Like, and then you keep giving me more content. Now it's just like, oh, I'm just playing more, but I'm not really getting deeper, and that's a thing for me that's always been like kind of a drawback. But I know in some ways I'm in the minority with this stuff. But Jonathan's, yeah, he has been researching working at the Han Focus expansion for at least a couple of years, especially the Spirit Island. I hope that at the end of the content, at least for a while. Alfred says, challenge update, not feeling super inspired. Temperature, what's your over under on Greg being excited about Cloudspire Harbinger versus being underwhelmed for content, aka Spirit Island? Yeah, exactly. And you hit it without me saying it. Yeah, it's one of those things, man. I'm like, too many games, and again, I'm going through an Oathsworn campaign now. I just got Euthia. Speaking of which, in 20 minutes, I'm going to do a reboxing of Euthia because I found what Steamforge did there to be wildly not great, giving no guidance on how to store that puppy at all. So I'm do that. I think somebody else got a video on YouTube as well, so I'm just gonna put another one out there just to kind of help people with ideas of how they could store that game. Table tour bets are off. Apparently, it was the under. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I haven't even explored the greed yet, right? Like, it's like, I mean, look, I'm sitting on Pop Marcus Victorum, and I'm like, you know, I when I found out how long a campaign of that was, I was like, oh, that's not great for me. So I mean, I'm excited about the new mode, and that's coming in with the expansion content. I know I could download print and play stuff, but I'll probably just wait to get the expansion content for that one to really explore it. Yeah, I got Solomon Kane. I'm really excited about. ATO, Madara. I mean, just games that I really want to dive into more. So, I think once I round that Frosthaven, and once I round that Oathsworn, and see where my friend group wants to go with some things. But obviously, Mage Knight. I mean, the next video I do is probably going to be, other than this reboxing video, it's probably going to be Mage Knight. I mean, it's such a steady. It's a game I can just get into, know what it is. Spirit Island does now have that allure, or have that, not allure, have that boundary of like, oh, I gotta like learn a new spirit, like. I don't really know if I want to, right? I will. I mean, I ended up getting it. I got the premium tokens as a review copy, so I do appreciate Great in the Games for hooking me up with that. But now what's Flat River Group? But yeah, man, it's just I'm not playing. A lot of my gaming time now is with my friends, and the solo stuff is just taking a backseat, unfortunately. as much as I still love it, and I'll get to things when I can. But yeah, this game was disappointing. I think is probably a good word. I hope at least showed it off or showed the puzzle. Sorry about the mistake with the card that shouldn't have been in there. Um, but I do have a hard time seeing if like you're a hardcore gamer. I think there's going to be things about this game that are going to bother you from a design standpoint. And if you really just like light games, I don't think this game is great. Like there is a lot of analysis that has to go into your actions. I mean, I played as fast as I could, but there's times like, oh, am I going to move play or move gather play? Like there are times where those decisions are really important, and like you can have to like do a turn and be like, oh, that's not going to work. I have to go back. Like I was thinking about this. The serious limitation on workers is uh, you know it's fine. I mean, there are some of the character companion combos, like this character companion combo. At least you could go to that blue yellow and camp there and get what you want. Now, if you weren't the first player and somebody was there ahead of you, you can't really start your game until you get some of those workers, right? But some of these guys, you have to go to the red green thing and then the blue yellow one on subsequent turns. Like you're taking forever to get going in a way that I just think really kills the game at anything above two. Um, Maybe you can get there with three, but woof. I mean, there's some big misses with this game that I wonder if there's going to be a reworking of the rules anytime soon. And I might just hold on to it for a few more months just for that. But I really can't recommend this game. As cool as the mechs are, and as cool as some of the ideas are, and you're getting Stonemaier quality, and I get that, like, but from a gameplay perspective, you're basically playing a game like, all right, we're just gonna go in, everyone, you have to do 4 quests and then hopefully figure something else out. And if those cards come up wrong, if the locations aren't revealed, that could be a real nightmare to make that happen. But again, that's why I do think the game is probably better solo, because at least you're gonna get 4 quests. You'll be able to do that over the course of a game. And I do think that the Asoma is a pretty solid challenge. You can go up to level 5. You even have less turns, and I think it's $2 per map token. So the Automa would have gotten in this game like 10 more points. So that's a pretty heavy challenge. You have right. So it's one less turn, and the Automa gets 2 more points. So if you play that out, and they get their stars a little earlier. So there would definitely be things that they would have been able to do, at certain times. But if you just do that, like but at 87, the Atoma probably would have had 83 points. Now the Atoma might have won. How many? No, they had 9 map tokens, right? So they would have had 79 points, plus they would have had their 8th star, so they would have had 84 points. Um, and then you assume that the star levels would have balanced out over the course of the game, right? But that's a really, really tight game. So this is unlike Scythe, which I really never play on the highest level. I think if you really love this game, I think you could start playing at level 5, within 10 to 20 plays, and probably find that to be a really solid challenge. Um, if that's kind of where you're at. So it is what it is. Alfred Wallace, I'm gearing up for Earthborn Rangers and some Explore It games. Yeah, I'm excited. Um, Adam Smith from Only Solo told me he really recommended it's kind of like the demon themed Explore It. I forget what the Noctis something or other. So I do have that coming. I also have the second. I have Kings of Ruin coming. I just skipped the first one because I heard there were so many grindy problems with it. I'm trying to from Awakened Realms. I'm forgetting the name of the game. Tainted Grail. So I'm excited about that. Earthborn Rangers is a miss for me. Like I don't love superhero games. The art's not doing anything for me, and I just already have Arkham LCG, which if I'm gonna do anything with a living card game, that's still gonna be the one for me. It hits so many more boxes for me than the other ones I've tried. Um, but yeah, I have friends that absolutely adore Earthborn Rangers and play it a ton. So I've definitely heard good things. Do hope to try it, but there's no way I can justify investing in it at all, at all. Never happening. I will say a shout out for this insert. This insert's freaking great. Of course, it is giving you the room for the expansion mechs that are indeed bound to come out at some point. I'm guessing in the next 6 to 12 months. If that comes with a new rule set, that will be amazing. But the current rule set, again, I not very high on. If I could say that another dozen times. But yeah, it's a really good insert. Everything is super easy to pack, and it looks like they left you so much, just a really good amount of room for the expansion that it's not going to be any issue when it arrives. For those that want to go deeper in this game, which is again is probably not me. Oh no, what just happened? I lost. There are these little like riser things that you can put on the bottom of the mech mats, so you can tuck cars a little easier. They're fine. I don't know how much they really help, but that's fine. I've also been playing Lands of Galzer for chill and winding. And thanks again for showing this game off. Yeah, man. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, Lands of Galzer I looked into. It definitely doesn't seem for me, but it does seem like it's a great story game for those that are looking more for story driven as opposed to mechanic driven. So I definitely, it looks cool. I'm intrigued by that one a lot more than Earthborn Rangers, that's for sure. But yeah, man, I hope you are enjoying that. I know Mike DeLisio absolutely loved it. His taste in games seems to have kind of went in a direction further from mine, but that's great, man. It takes all flavors, so that's cool. But that is it. This has been great. Good, rigorous conversation. A genuine thanks again to Stonemaier Games for giving me the opportunity to kind of feature this game and making it that much easier. They've very much supported the channel a lot in the last year and a half or so, and I do not take that for granted. And so, unfortunately, this one did not hit the boxes I wanted to justify me saying better things about it. But you know, it is what it is. Not every game is for every person. So you just take the good with the bad and move on. So this might indeed be the last review copy I get as the runner of solo playthroughs, considering how my life is going and the lack of time I have to really feature new stuff, and my personal desire to really get back to some of my favorites and start featuring some of these new games that I have coming in pretty soon. So I'm going to be back on the channel in, again, 10 minutes. So anyone who is interested in Uthia, please join me for that. And until the next time, whenever that is, happy gaming.
Son.